The story of Hanukkah underwent a fascinating change in the course of time. Originally, it celebrated a military victory of the Jews over the Greeks, but the military victory was short-lived. 2 centuries later, Israel was conquered by Rome. Hanukkah might have ceased to be, but it survived, and its symbolism was transformed. The sages said about Hanukkah, Ner ish uveito. The light was to be kindled by each man and his household. And they also said, Beito zu ishto. His house means his wife. Hanukkah became not a military festival, but a domestic one. Its light became the light of the Jewish home, of husband and wife and family, and of that highest of Jewish values, Shalom Bayit, peace in the home. With deep historical insight, the sages realized that the real battle between Jews and Greeks wasn't physical, but spiritual. The Greeks valued power, Jews valued peace. And that is why domestic violence, when it takes place within the Jewish home, is so shocking, and it's why we have to take a stand against it, and why we have to provide help for those who suffer from it. In the ketubah, the marriage contract, a husband undertakes to work for and cherish his wife. The sages said that a man should love his wife as himself and honor her more than himself. He shouldn't be angry or vituperative or create a mood of fear within the home. According to a midrash, when Jacob momentarily displayed anger towards Rachel, God said, "Is that the way to answer a woman in distress?" And yet, sadly, domestic violence still exists. The 25th of November is International Day against violence against women, and it's appropriate that we think about it too within the Jewish community. Abuse comes in many forms, physical, emotional, and psychological, and we in the Jewish community are not immune to it. We'd like to think otherwise, knowing how much Judaism sanctifies the home and idealizes the relationship between husband and wife. But we cannot wish a problem away. It exists. And that's why I and our rabbinate support the work of Jewish Women's Aid and other agencies working in the field. Jewish Women's Aid provides refuge and resettlement to wives and children facing domestic violence. It runs a confidential helpline staffed by trained volunteers. It offers therapeutic counseling, and it runs programs in Jewish schools, educating children about healthy relationships and about the dangers when they break down. The home is protected space. That is its beauty. But it brings with it the risk that behavior that wouldn't be countenanced anywhere else can happen there, precisely because of its privacy. Insult, intimidation, the use of force, emotional blackmail, physical violence can happen behind closed doors without anyone else knowing. And when it comes to abuse, the home offers the maximum of temptation with the maximum of opportunity. That's why Judaism places such emphasis on Shalom Bayit, on peace in the home, because it's in the home that we are tested. There we learn the love that is respect, consideration, gentleness, the capacity to listen as well as speak, sensitivity, graciousness, and the willingness to make sacrifices for one another. It's there that we learn chesed, the love that is also kindness. And it's this that brings the Shekhinah, the divine presence, into the home. As a Jewish community, we may not turn a blind eye or a deaf ear to the problem of domestic violence. We have to oppose those who practice it and offer practical help to those who suffer from it. Hanukkah is a festival of hope, and we have to bring hope to those who need it. We must not leave the afflicted to suffer alone.